start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 3, communications.
David will have our construction update first if Cameron has our pictures ready. Do you have them ready yet? No. Well, David, we will come back to you.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay. The sports multi-purpose building, I've talked to some of you guys. We have talked about looking at the Family Dollar building down the road from here, about making it a multi-purpose building for baseball, softball, golf, cheer, actually anything you can use it, basketball, football. I've gone and looked at it. Jacob Bowen has gone and looked at it with me. We have talked about it. We have discussed prices. They were asking $300,000 for it. They have come down. The guy that owns it, of course, does not live in Jackson County. He says he will take $250 for it, but after speaking with, like some of you guys, we know an inspection would be needed before we would even agree on the $250 that we would even think that. So, what we're waiting on is our newspaper ad got messed up as far as running the 2 weeks to hire our architects officially. So it's running this week, so we won't get to hire them officially until next week. Or well, after next week, which means, probably another special call board meeting. But once we hire those people, that's who we will have go and inspect the building for us, because they would be the ones working with us and know what KDE approves, rather than us just getting an inspector here in the county that looks at them like you would a house. So that's sort of where we're at right now. Looks pretty good, but any questions for me on any of that?
Just what I said, make sure
Oh, yeah.
big steep up
Yeah.
I'll get in there.
Yeah. So we look inside, outside, and even get prices on what we would think it would take to make it, safe for our kids as far as no mold and water and all that stuff, so.
Which is a bad place to go in and out a little bit.
Accessibility, cuts, 19 items, voice
And
line,
plus
off,
for us
close,
is,
button.
and you all already know this, the land behind it connects with our high school, so we would own that, and we could even make a better road to where our kids weren't pulling in and out on the main road, they could come back forth through the high school. So that's an option, and plus fix the water while they're back there working on the road, so. That's if everything goes well and affordable and looking and see if it meets inspection, so.
So we're talking about $250,000.
Yes, to purchase and then to see how much it would take to get it usable,
So we're looking at probably $300,000, right?
I would say,
But let me ask
at
you-
least.
Let me ask the question. Don't we have, what about our school at the time that we need to refurbish, we need to redo one at Sand Gap?
Yeah, those are already in the process and been bidded, yeah, or that's what we're advertising right now. So all that's in the works, so that would be done too.
With that type of money, I probably can't go along with it, and that's what the board wants to do, is to, I don't want to get in a position where we have to raise taxes. I've been there before, and I don't want to do it again.
We're, as of right now, no, we're close to that, so, and that's something Lincoln can talk about with you guys later, if you even want to start talking about bonding, all that, because we don't know what the prices are going to be yet on Sand Gap and Tyner, but it is in the facility plan, so we have the projected price. So we're, even according to that, what it's going to take to get those two buildings where we want them this year, we will still be in real good shape. So, but like I said, Lincoln can talk about that if you have specific questions after this.
Is that still building outside the other cafeteria or gym?
Yes,
or whatever?
that's what
what
doing Sand Gap and Tyner's cafeteria and gym renovations.
And I've seen the bid advertising
Yes.
last week.
Yeah. So that's what we're waiting on the architects to be, to turn in their stuff and hired before we can proceed with that. So that's where we're at, so. Any other questions? No. Yes.
Everything else, wow, was that me?
Yeah, well, she's reminding me of my other thing. Right now is when we'll recognize our golf team. Miss Jordan Poe is our ladies golf coach. So if you'd like to come up, Jordan, I don't know all the specific accomplishments. I know they have done very well this year. If you want to say a kind word about them, and then we'll present their certificates. The boys we were supposed to recognize as well tonight, but none of them could be with us. Basketball and everything else going on, so that's okay. So we'll let Miss Jordan.
Well, I appreciate y'all recognizing these girls because that's definitely what they deserve. I had 4 girls this year. I know that doesn't seem like a ton for golf, but compared to what we've had in the last few years, I'm very proud of that. And these girls have worked hard. They never let me down. If they were ever out for practice or a match, it was for something that was, I mean, their heart and soul was in it, and I really appreciate that. This year they went and played in Pineville for the All-A region tournament, and they won that. So I was super proud, and it was well deserved, and they worked really hard. So they got to go on and play at state, which was a very trying tournament. They played at a beautiful course. They played at Arlington, and the weather conditions were not in our favor. It was cold, it was rainy, but those 4 girls right there, they never let that stop them, and I was so proud of them for that. Because as much as I love golf, I don't want to play in the rain and cold. But they never let it stop them, so I was just proud of them regardless. And we have a very bright future ahead of us in the girls golf program that I'm very excited about, and I haven't even talked to them about it yet. So, but I'm just super proud of them. I couldn't ask for a better team, and we just hope to continue to build our team, and it's looking very promising. So,
Okay, so girls, when I call your name, you can come get your certificate. Miss Kelsey Miller. Remington Beagle. And Miss Marley Coffey.
and I also want to point out that Marley and Remy are middle schoolers playing on varsity, so they're going up against juniors and seniors, and it doesn't stop them, so that's a big accomplishment. So by the time they get to be juniors and seniors, I can't imagine what these girls are going to accomplish, so we're super
Yes,
excited.
and Miss Jordan talked about going down younger, and so we're going to explore that as well.
Yes, we are looking forward to that. We're going to try to start at the elementary level and bring some junior golfers in, so it's looking promising.
Thank you, girls. Appreciate you all. Now here, let's take our picture. I know Mr. Hicks will be so happy in front of our thing, so we can put it on our webpage too.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Glory has.
That's a pretty good job.
Well, wait till David's here, you can look at her and.
Come here, Debbie, I didn't look at you.
Sorry, I'll take pictures for the yearbook.
Thank you guys. I think we are good. You're good with pictures now, so we'll get our update from David Codell for our middle school.
How's everybody doing tonight? So I'm sure y'all noticed there's an issue with condensation in the gym. We've discovered that, can you pull the pictures up? No, just let me see it. and this is an existing condition, I'll remind you, this, normally you would have something going all the way up to the top of that decking on with today's standards, but the building wasn't built like that for whatever reason in the 90s. So I think that's what's causing the problem, the condensation in the gym.
It's all the leaking on the floor.
Like if we were doing a soffit today, like that, there wouldn't be a gap there. Like you see where you can see the red iron underneath the decking. That's not normal in today's practices. That's
Did we have this problem before?
Do what?
Did we have this problem out there in the gym before we started this?
You might have, I'm honestly not sure. The only things that's changed in that area,
I
that
don't
would,
think we did
I don't
either.
think we
The
did.
only-
More than likely, this construction somewhere along the line would cause this problem.
I think
There's something, we didn't have the problem before.
No, no.
There's something.
Before.
Well, I think what the issue is, that existing soffit was built that way. We never touched it. The only difference that you have is you have a different material, which is metal decking and metal soffit. And that decking and soffit, I think, gets very hot, which is what's causing that air condition underneath there. Change the building's thermal envelope somehow, some way. I'm not smart enough to know what that would be, but I think that's what the problem is.
Can we fix it?
It's fixable, yes. We're exploring options on that. We'll have a resolution here in the next couple of days, I think. Just waiting on the architect's recommendation.
Will we have to do a change order on that?
Possibly.
I don't know about.
We can address that later. I just need to see what their recommendation is before I can give you a concrete answer there. But if there was to be one, I couldn't see it being too bad.
Any other questions about that?
So you don't think it had anything to do with any of the, where you changed the sprinkler system stuff? You didn't-
No, sir, I don't. It's not that. Because I've checked it up near the piping, I don't see leaks at fittings or anything. So I don't
And
think
not
it's
sweating or anything?
no sweating on the sprinkler line either. But getting the air balance, which we're currently doing as we speak today, that will also help with things in there. So until then, it'd be a good idea to wait until that balancing is done before we go attacking this issue.
These new heaters, stuff we put in, didn't cause a difference in our balance.
It's causing a part of the problem right now too, because with it not being able to be balanced. But they're working on that right now, so that should be fixed here relatively soon.
Should this been foreseen?
It could have, but it's nothing that a person in my role could have ever known about.
Well, that was my question.
It's a design flaw, is what this is.
When he was saying it's like, say, if today's code and specs, then if you're doing a new HVAC, why would it not be addressed in the new?
Right.
That
If
was my
if you're updating,
Right,
you should be looking at everything. Not
Correct.
maybe not you,
right.
but whoever the architect is.
It's design flaw for sure, I can say that much. It should have been caught before we
Like
did
ain't
the
one
work.
problem right after another.
We,
Really?
yeah, right.
So it's still well done that enough that we still can't use the gym?
We're not doing ball games because, was it Carla, was it your girl that did the fall? No. They sent me a video of one of the little girls at the middle school that did a dog fall during a game.
That was Amelia.
Yeah, they just stopped it because, and we'd have to stop the game, go out and mop, dry it up, so it got sort of ridiculous, yeah.
When and how long do you expect this to take?
It shouldn't take long, as soon as I can get the recommendation, I'll have feet working on getting the solutions. It's just
So it's gonna start a bunch of rot on the.
No, it won't cause you problems, it won't cause problems with that. It won't get any worse than what it is.
Once it starts, it's hard to stop.
I understand.
I mean, that's black and all everything, you look, that's what you're looking at.
We'll evaluate it every way, I'm waiting on the architect's recommendation before I can go about fixing it.
Now, architects, we talking about the flunkies that we had before.
Integrity that we have
Well-
right now.
Polly, where you at?
Right here.
Well, it's time to go involved, done some work here.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
But we need something done with integrity, if they're not gonna stick up to the bargain, they're an architect, put the word on it.
Okay.
We played with them all year, right? Ms. Smith?
Yes, yes, and we are
And we're paying
in,
out too much money on this, we've had enough. The hardwood, the floor, did we get it put back in during the fall break?
for the whole school,
Well, the thing I was, when I walked back into the dollar store, I walked into work or someplace, and they said, you know, the teachers, when they came back to work from break, the furniture sitting out in the middle of the hall, and they had to put their own furniture back in the classroom. Now, we don't want that. We hire teachers to teach, we don't hire them to clean the furniture up. So somebody's falling short on that, Mr. Colville, I don't know who.
I understand your thoughts on that, but I was never contracted to handle furniture, so I'm not sure who that would be on, but it's.
But you was
something that could
contracted
help
to be
out.
sure that the bill was back to,
should have been much.
you know,
I understand the concern.
yeah. We hired you to watch over our interest because we all work. So we don't have time to do it, and I'm not qualified to do that anything. But that's what we hired Colville Construction for, was to make sure that school was put back together in the right and correct way. And I know it's been a bitch, don't get me wrong.
On time,
Yeah.
and they didn't make it on time.
So architects part of the blame on that. That's, you know, they're still dragging around, right?
Yes.
Well, let's hammer on them. We pay them good money.
And
I'll
we're-
talk to them tomorrow to try to speed up the recommendation on how to fix it.
But don't beg and get your pencil sharpened. Does that sound mean?
No, I've
I'm
already been
hard
on
to
it
this
too.
stuff, I mean,
We're actually in a claim, insurance claim with them right now, over stuff, and where we have had to pay overtime and our people to go work and do, accommodating their schedules, to put the floor down, like over fall break and Labor Day weekend. where it's
There was
already
several
done.
scratches and stuff on the floor to do, the whole get repaired, when I was trying to move in there and move it out.
They're working on that right now. We just walked through with the architect last Friday, was it?
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday, sorry, last week, and we looked at all that and brought it to their attention. They took pictures, so that's what we're working, that's where we are right now.
Yeah, we just did the punch list last week.
Yes.
Should be receiving that soon to get these guys started on fixing their concerns. They're just minor stuff that needs to be addressed. Paint, floors, and whatnot.
Right. Anything else?
Ronnie, this is the stuff I got. You tell me if I'm leaving anything off this list. We want to get with the architect tomorrow, figure out the recommendations of what needs done to fix it with the gym. We want to know when and how the gym roof problems were found, and when should they have been found, and why weren't they found initially.
And that's me now, I don't know what the rest of the board
Is
thinks.
there anything else you
Well,
all
we're
want?
working on the gym floor as well, and we're
If
expecting
we're-
some of it's about
once
to
it- Once that hardwood gets wet, it's gonna start whooping.
It already has.
It'll more than
So if
likely
it's
need to
already
be
started, if it's
replaced.
already
Yeah.
started whooping, it's gonna have to come up.
It more than likely will be replaced.
It will, we've
It's
already,
gonna be our baby.
yeah,
Are we gonna be out to cost that?
no,
No, sir.
no. David and I have walked it personally, and he knows and has seen it, and so they know that too, so.
How much we like on paying architects?
Still quite a bit. We did a payout on the stuff that was good, I think last month. It's on the report.
On a brighter note, they should have the air being able to be balanced within the next 3 weeks. They're having to do everything at night. As far as the floors go, like the VCT, that should be able to get finished over Christmas break.
Don't miss this, and it comes to me again. And I'm really careful. What better a principal over at ACC watching all this thing to make sure everything's done properly, what better a buildings grant person? Let's just lay it on the line tonight, Eddie, while we're all out here. I mean, we're spending all this taxpayers' money, and you've got a principal that's not there to help make sure the furniture is back in where it should have been. I know a little bit about a principal, helping some of this principal. And our buildings grant director needs to be back in work, making sure everything's taken care of.
She has personally carried in tons and carried out, thrown away. She has.
Okay.
So I can vouch for that.
Okay.
She has been doing a lot of that, had help. We did have help, like while the kids were not there, with extra hands. Can I speak for the principal? No. As far as him watching and doing, and I can't speak for him. I have told him to be aware and to be watching. So,
Send him out a notice letter.
do
We played around with that in middle school on another people, am I right or wrong now?
It was supposed to be done when the school was, and we even delayed.
Well, you're saying even when we
We
delayed the
delayed.
vote calendar, we figured for sure it would be at
delayed
the
the
time.
school
We
start.
did, it's just those design flaws came up so late in the game, it was too hard to fix it then.
Well, and I think that was not even design flaws, more the engineer that messed up, right? He ordered the wrong stuff. And then we got, was that not part of the problem?
On the HPC, that's what they said. They said they
Yes.
ordered the wrong
Yes.
ones, that when
That's correct.
when they went to start them, they wouldn't work. And they had to come back and start all over again.
Put it simpler, the original pumps are 7.5 horsepower, the new ones are 15
Right.
horsepower.
So those should be working.
The pumps have been in, the problem is the three-way, we're having to add three-way valves to the units because of some other errors. That's being done as we speak, like they're actually over there right now doing that.
So go ahead, we'll have to do a change order, correct?
This is all part of the claim
Okay.
with the design team's insurance company, so I can't really speak on the specifics on that because I don't know yet.
This weather's changing too, you know, the cold
I-
weather's gonna change from being.
Yes, we'll have the air balance and water balance before it gets too cold outside.
Better hurry. Pretty cold this morning. Freezing my ice a little bit.
Did you
Freezing
have
weather's
anything
coming third.
else? Does anybody have any more questions for?
I'll be drilled for another man.
Thank you for coming and giving us an update. We appreciate it.
Not a problem, thank you guys.
Thanks, David.
Yes,
Is that all my communications?
Okay,
Yes.
so we're moving on to number 4. I need a motion for the substitute report and personnel report.
Motion.
I need a second. Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 5, I need approval for the bills and claim.
Motion.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene? Ronnie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 6, I need approval of the September 22nd, 2025 board meeting minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Rhonda? Yes. Eugene? Yes for me. Number 7, I need approval of field trips and overnight stays.
Motion. Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene? Eddie?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 8, approval of fundraisers.
Motion.
Second.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 9, approval to establish and reestablish positions. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 10, I need a motion for the Jackson County School Board resolution.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eugene? Yes for me. Number 11, I need an approval for option 9 partnership with University of Cumberland, right?
Yes.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 12, approval of memorandum of understanding with Eastern Kentucky University. I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Number 12, approval of proposal to establish a wrestling program at the Jackson County Public Schools.
You want to talk about that just a little bit more and explain if you think
I know they have done the interest, the surveys, they've had parent meetings, they've had fairly good turnouts. As far as a lot of the detail, I don't have, like, a couple of questions that Rhonda had was, like what the coaches pay, but that's something as a board, you know, that we would come up with when we would establish a position. Training, we would have to see if anybody would be interested in being the coach at all levels, you know, elementary, middle, and high. We would have to have them trained through KHSAA, all that. And John might know some of this better than me. We know some of the surrounding counties are already doing it, but we did think we had enough interest to go ahead and look into it and start and try to come. Our athletic director couldn't be here. We're hosting the district volleyball tournament right now as we speak up at the high school, so we had to be there. Nobody else was here to speak.
So what I read on the overview that Parker had put was this is a proposal outlines the potential
Yes.
to establish
That
a
would be-
wrestling program
Mhm.
for both. So it's a potential, it's just,
Right.
I
So
think-
say you voted it in, we would look farther into it and do all that, look into the coaching, who's
So
interested in
this will be
coaching.
like for,
This is the
you got
strictly,
interest.
yes, the proposal.
For boys and girls too.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All the way down to elementary.
Yes, yes.
this just says middle school and high school.
Well, it's like your fifth would play up on the middle
Okay.
school side.
KHSAA only sanctions 7th grade and up.
Does it? Okay.
Anything you do
That's-
below
okay, that's what I was
7th,
gonna say, because
those
of-
competitions happen below 7th, like they do in cross-country tracks and other sports, but they're not sanctioned by KHSAA. It's really just the districts that want to have it and want to send students. And in my experience, just being around KHSAA sports in general, with wrestling, track, cross-country, you'll have years where schools will have an elementary team, and there'll be years where it dwindles in the 5th and 6th grade interest. They won't have one this year, but they may have it 4 straight years and a year or 2 off. The elementary portion of it below 7 kind of seems to come and go in some places. Like you'll have years where there's strong interest, good turnout, where they do a lot with it, and you'll have other years where it's not as much. And so the elementary just kind of is its own animal in that regard. The matches are somewhat separate and apart from what you do with the high school in 7th grade and up. They'll kind of compete on their own schedule. Some years they'll compete a lot, other years not as much.
This is kind of what we did, just also, that with the track and cross-country, we started with the high school level, and then it just grew. So then we went down the middle, and now we are blessed to have it at the elementary school. So I
And
mean,
just like
it's
that
something
coach
you
is
can see.
volunteering, right?
Yes, so I mean, it's a deal, but, did you have something to say, Mr. Henry? So, do I have a motion for number 12?
Motion.
Okay, hold on here. So, Rhonda?
Motion.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Just put 2 down there in law forms.
Yeah.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene? Yes for me. Number 13, approval of update medical excuse form. Did you want to say anything or that, or did anybody have a question? This was, the way I understood, handed down from the state. Okay, so, I need a motion.
Motion.
I need a second. Okay, Rhonda?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Yes for me. Approval of school profile reports. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
This is 14A, epic renewal extension,
Yes, that is
but
the,
it doesn't go under this.
no.
Okay, so I need a motion for 14A, epic renewal / extension. I need a motion. I need a second. Ronnie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
And yes for me. Was there any public comment for number 15? Okay. So number 16, I need approval to adjourn. I need a motion.
Before we adjourn, I want to ask a question. I went by McKee School down there last week sometime. They're parking across the road quite a bit. Is that, are we paying for them to park over there, or are they just parking over there, or in the lot across the road?
I have no idea.
That's on. Okay, so,
Well, if they're crossing that road, then we need to have, you work for the state, if it's not right. If they're crossing that road, we need to have some kind of crosswalk.
Now, are you talking about the buses are parking
No.
across the
No,
road?
no, the
Teachers.
people, somebody's parking
Students.
over, I don't know, that parking lot was full.
Teachers, ain't
They might have been having like a grandparent dinner or something, I don't know.
I don't know, they,
they, and grandparents' day, there was a lot parked over there.
Yeah, on events there will be, but
But
usually during the school day, everybody's parked in the
everybody's over there.
parking lot.
I didn't know, that's the reason I was asking, because if they're gonna be parking over and crossing that road, we need to have some kind of crosswalk.
So can
If
we-
so, they've not
can-
told me, but we'll check on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a quick question for you, Rex. We need to amend this agenda. So are we going to meet the Jackson County Board of Education Finance Corporation? Is that what the second meeting is?
yes.
So technically, what we need to do is recess this meeting, not adjourn, and then this comes back in and adjourns. The Finance Court meets within the regular board meeting.
We're doing what Lincoln.
It can be either way. I've seen it either way, but in this case,
Okay.
if John wants it that
Well,
way.
I've done this,
Yeah.
well, this is the third time I've done it with Lincoln in the last month. And that's how we've done it everywhere else, so.
So you tell it whatever.
You don't rescind that motion on adjourn?
Yeah, yeah, and then just motion to recess.
Okay, I need a motion to recess.
I'll make a motion to recess.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Yes for me.
I'll just explain, the reason is this board needs to come back in as part of the regular meeting at the end in case there's anything this board needs to do.
Right.
And once you adjourn, for this board to come back in would be a special meeting, and then we could do it without an agenda. But because we're at a regular meeting, if something comes up in the finance that you all want to come back and address after, when you go from recess back in, then you can still address it because it's a regular meeting and we
That's
can
why we
add
put it in
anything.
the see.
Very good point.
But do we need to rescind that motion and kill it and then?
That's what we did. We did that and then we did it.
Okay.
We said recess.
Yeah.
So now do I call that to order?
You would do a motion to call to order the Jackson County Board of Education Finance Corporation.
I make a motion, does someone want to make a motion to
I'll
call
motion
to order
for it, yes.
to the, okay, finance, okay. Ronnie?
What?
Can you say yes?
Yes.
You don't have to, but it would be nice if you did.
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eugene? Yes for me. So do you want to speak at this time? Or
You
do you
go
want
ahead
us
and you
to
can confirm officers.
need a confirmation of officers? I need a motion.
Well, what we do, put the chairman in.
So you want to read what you have
It's
got?
the same officer generally as you got to the board.
Yes, that would be, the president will be Ms. Debbie Nicholson, our board chair. The secretary will be me, Renee Smith, the superintendent, and our treasurer will be Nikki Venable, our finance officer.
And I
We
need
need
a
a motion for
motion.
that? I'll move we do it.
I need a second.
Second.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Eugene?
Yeah.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes for me. Now, would you like to speak?
If I can, grab just a few minutes of your time. My name is Lincoln Bynert with RSA Advisors. And typically, this is where I would, before you approve this next resolution as the Finance Corporation, which authorizes us to go out and issue the bonds, I typically like to talk about your bonding capacity to give you a comfort level that you can sleep easy knowing that you can afford the $2,695,000 of bonds to be issued. A lot of numbers here. I know you guys have already flipped through. And I know we're watching the clock a little bit, so I'm going to go fast. I love questions. If you have time, please stop me anytime. I'm going to use the same presentation I have in my 20-year career. There's nothing mysterious about bond financing. Think of it exactly similar to taking out a loan to build a house. You sit down with your loan officer, in this case it would be me. That loan officer says, well, tell me about your current debts that you already have on your books, and then tell me about your revenue sources. So on page 1 of this handout, each column represents, by fiscal year summary, the bond payments that are already on your books. And the projects are listed down at the bottom of that page. And so if you jump to the far right-hand column F, you'll see that fiscal year 25 that we just completed was sort of the high water mark of over $1 million of debt. And then as you go down in time, you owe less. That's a universal norm, whether it's city government, county government, school districts, or our own personal households. You're going to have a heavier amount of debt in quote unquote those next few years. You know, if you've got 2 car payments until one's paid off. So it's normal to see your heavier debt load in those next few years. Your revenue streams, and it's important for me also to say, any dollars I speak about are very heavily restricted for building purposes. Bricks and mortar, you know, you've got general fund dollars as a separate pot. I joke it's kind of like my wife's stash of personal cash. I don't know, not for me to say what that's earmarked for, but it's a general fund and building fund, and I'm speaking about building fund. So column D is your local nickel. That's 5 cents for every $100 of your assessed property value. Here in Jackson County, that generates $263,358 a year. So that's money that's coming from yourselves, from your tax base. You're collecting $263,358. Now, as I make projections, typically your home mortgage would be for 30 years. In the school business, conservative look is to issue bonds for 20 years. You know, Woodford County's high school, Adair County Middle School. If it's a really big capstone project that's going to check all your boxes for years and years, then you might issue a 25-year or, in Woodford County's case, a 30-year bond issue. Kind of like financing a truck. Just because the dealership will let you do it for 15 years doesn't mean it's the best. So that's why my projections are only for 20. I want to point out in column B, your property tax collections. I'm looking out 20 years, and I'm not forecasting any growth. That's just because I'm conservative by nature. I noticed your property assessments don't grow very fast here. You guys have in column C a second nickel. So again, this is revenue that's coming from yourselves. You're generating another $263,000 per year. And again, I keep that constant as we go down all 20 years. Column D, capital outlay, part of the SEEK formula, hasn't changed since Kara. Simply $100 for every unit or student, for every unit of average daily attendance. Columns E and F, it's called the Facility Support Program in Kentucky. We call it equalization. This is state dollars. And the goal of equalization is to fund each of your students equitably as it relates to buildings only amongst everybody else in the state. So it's a formula that brings you to a level playing field with Campbell County or Boone County. Okay? And so to try to simplify, what the General Assembly does is they literally add up every piece of taxable property in the entire state. Find out what that 5-cent nickel would be. What would the 5 cents per $100 of the taxable property be if you could tax every property in the state? Divide that by the number of students. Then they come in and they say, well, we're going to give state dollars to fund each student at 150% of what the statewide average nickel would be. Well, in Campbell County, and about 6 or 8 other counties, they are so property rich themselves. The money they collect from themselves, from their local nickel, is already above that 150% threshold. So Campbell County would have $0 in this column E and F. Column F I have to speak to just for a second. You notice that the money coming from the state stops in fiscal year 27. Okay? If you go all the way back, I forget what the project was for. Let's see. At the time the high school was phase 2. At the time the high school was constructed, there was some special money that came from Frankfurt. But there was a string attached. Only districts that got it is if they had 2 nickels. At the time, you guys didn't, but you had a school that was designated priority 5, which means it was in bad shape, and it qualified for the state money. In the 11th hour of the legislative session, there was language that allowed, you're familiar with you could add a recallable nickel. You could add 5 cents. That's the only new nickel that you could do if you chose to. At the 11th hour, the General Assembly allowed the districts that had Category 5 buildings to add the nickel and it not be subject to voter recall. So that is your column C. That's how you got column C, was you were able to add it and it not be subject to voter recall. However, the General Assembly also said, since you didn't stand before the voters like a traditional recallable nickel, they said they were only going to offer equalization for a set period. So it sunsets in 27. There's 9 districts that did that. Those are the only 9 districts that are, I guess what I'm trying to say is that your superintendent and the superintendents of the other 9 districts have come together this legislative session to argue how unfair it is that you're continuing to collect, go to column C, down past 27, you're still collecting that nickel from yourselves. So we're going back to Frankfurt and saying, hey, continue to equalize it. You're still doing your part, so continue to equalize it. So just know that fight's going on in the background, but for my presentation tonight, obviously I'm not assuming that it's going to get extended. Again, just conservative by nature, almost to a fault. Column G then is the sum of those revenue sources. Your 2 nickels, capital outlay, and your equalization dollars, all restricted for building funds. Column H, all I've done is subtract out the debt that's already on the books that we've seen on page 1. And column I over the next 20 years would be what I call from local sources, dollars that are available. I say local sources, but obviously the equalization comes from the state, but it's equalizing your local nickels, so I kind of put it all on the left-hand side of local sources. Columns J, K, L, and M. Every 2 years you receive an offer of assistance from the School Facilities Construction Commission based upon your amount of unmet need compared to everybody else in the state. So they take your facility plan, page 5, or the very last page on your facility plan at the bottom, the big bold number that says total amount of unmet need. The School Facilities Construction Commission, they get anywhere from $40 million to $100 million to hand out in offers. They literally just open up a spreadsheet, they plug in the total amount of unmet need for every district, assign a ratio. That's why when I was at your LPC, I stressed that even if you put your wishes on there, as long as they're legitimate, I put as much need on your facility plan as possible to get your number up so that when those offers come out from the School Facilities Construction Commission, your piece of the pie will be a little larger. I've got 3 scenarios, and I promise I'm already halfway through, or more. This first scenario is what I'm going to call your maximum bonding capacity as I know it. Okay? You guys are conservative. I'm going to show you 3 different scenarios, and that's what I do for a living is look at scenarios, so pitch me more. But this is your maximum. This would be if you wanted to go all the way to the max and spend all your restricted monies. I'm starting there, I'm going to finish with conservative. If you'll turn to page 3. Page 3, column C, sort of the bottom line. As we're here tonight, there's nothing that I see, given your revenue sources and your current debts. There's nothing I see that would prevent you from issuing up to $19,250,000. Column C would be the principal amount of the bonds, the interest amount in column E. Column F would be the sum of principal and interest. But I'm going to show what that means for you. Again, for this scenario, my job is to show you that you don't have any money left over. That would be the definition of your maximum bonding capacity. So if you jump all the way over to column K, for fiscal year 25, you had approximately $1 million of restricted revenue left over. If you look at fiscal year '26, even if we were here tonight to issue $19 million in bonds, you still would have $790,000 left over in fiscal year '26. Those dollars that are left over can't be used for salaries, textbooks, or operations, but they can be used through what's called a capital fund request. They can be used for kind of COVID dollars. If you could justify that it was related to COVID, you could use your ESSER money. These dollars, if you can justify that they're related to plant maintenance, sidewalks, blacktop, paint, bus payments. So standing here tonight, I don't know how dependent you are on that surplus money. I will say that there are districts, there's no shame in it, I mean, there are districts who have to have at least some of that surplus money. That's the only way they make their bus payments. In this maximum scenario, you jump down inside the box on column K, you basically would be giving up all of that, what is surplus, and applying it towards debt service. Now, if you'll turn to page 4, I know from working with your district for the last 20 years that historically I've always been asked to always hold back the capital outlay dollars, which is roughly $130,000. So the only thing I've changed here on page 4 is in column K, I've said what would their bonding capacity be if they told me not to touch the capital outlay and always keep it left over. And that number is $17,400,000. On page 5, the only difference over in column K, I just arbitrarily chose to hold back $500,000 every year. And said, how much bonding capacity would you have if you held back 500 for beginning? I think you have been using those capital fund requests. So if you held back 500,000, your bonding capacity would be 12,550,000, of which we're getting ready to use 2,695,000. Questions? And then there certainly are districts that do go all the way to the mat. I'm not here to recommend that. I get paid when I issue bonds, but I'm here so that you guys understand sort of what I'm looking at on my end. And if you tell me, hey, you want to hold back $700,000, it's easy for me to generate those scenarios. Question?
Just as an example, okay, on page 3.
Yep.
In the year 2038, that $17 is all that would be available, say, to, your example was to pay salary, bus garage, whatever. That's all that would be.
So if you issued $19,250,000 today,
Yeah.
and if everything stayed 100% constant, there was no growth in property values, if everything stayed totally constant, then yes, that would be correct. There would be nothing else. However, and get in the weeds just a little bit, but if we go back to that state equalization, how that's calculated, the property-rich districts and areas of the state, their property values are continuing to shoot up. And at the same time, the number of students statewide has been going down. So every 2 years when the General Assembly meets, they recalculate the formula of how much money they need to give the rural districts to maintain equity. So in your most conservative scenario, the answer to your question is absolutely yes. The optimistic answer is that every 2 years, typically, you get a bump in revenue from that equalization. You can also anticipate every 2 years an additional offer of assistance from the School Facilities Construction Commission. That would be a small amount. But yes, I know you guys are conservative and would not, this is not your favorite
For me, this
scenario.
was like the worst case scenario.
This is the worst case scenario. In closing, I want to jump back, let's see, summary page 6. So the most aggressive of inside the box shows total bonding capacity 19,250,000. Of that 19,250,000, the second bullet point down inside the box, the School Facilities Construction Commission, those offers of assistance that you receive every 2 years, you can afford. Collectively, they would bond, they would support debt service of $1,385,000 worth of bonds. It's bonds that are paid directly from the SFCC, but can only be used on a priority 1 or 2. The thing I want to mention tonight and stress heavily, because I hope to be back here at your November board meeting, the oldest of your SFCC offers, and turn back to page 2. Page 2, column J. The oldest offer, and again, this is money that would be a different bond issue that I'm talking about coming up than this. This would be 100% paid by the state. You write no checks to the state. You have column J that will expire and literally go back to the General Assembly's coffers if not used on a bond for a priority 1 or 2 project that is sold by January 1st. So those are strings there. It's got to be a priority 1 or 2 in an extremely tight timeline. Without knowing all the details and the mechanics of what you've got going on, from what I gather, that's going to have to be spent on middle school because it's something that we literally have to key up a BG1 for your November meeting and go through this resolution process again, authorizing. It's going to have to be a minimum of, so of your 4 offers, they'll bond $1,385,000. The SFCC requires a minimum bond issue of $300,000. So you're going to have to use all of your expiring offer, which we want to do, and a small portion of your next offer, just to get to that $300,000 minimum. What are we doing with that money? That's what we got to talk about between now and then. And there's a discussion about windows at the middle school. If nothing else, House Bill 678 does allow you to issue bonds based on just estimates. The School Facilities Construction Commission, they're begging the General Assembly for a lot more money. So the last thing the SFCC wants would be to see a district unable to utilize an offer. Under all circumstances, they wouldn't want to see it go to waste, so they would authorize essentially you to issue bonds for, we just have to look at your facility plan and find something in the middle school that we can. So, questions?
If the windows was not part of the facility plan when it was initially done.
Was there a new facility plan that's already?
We just did one
Yeah.
where it's already under construction. They didn't really put.
Because that is a
That's
great
what I worried
idea
about
to
when
get
you
the
said that.
windows replaced. That would be
So basically, we just have to look at the facility plan, see what hits those categories, and
And
see how we get this free money.
SFCC is going to read between the lines as much as they can, so if they can,
It's not what it said.
yeah, I mean, if not windows, I don't know if you're over budget somewhere and need it otherwise, you could, yeah, I mean, if you're, so we'll get together, circle up on that. And that would just be, again, there would be no checks written from the board. It would draw your overall bond capacity down, but again, it's not issued. It truly just goes away.
So is it possible that the sand gap and the Tyner project might fall in under that, or is that just, no, it's okay?
I don't think we
Okay.
have time to
Okay.
design it and
Okay,
bid it.
gotcha. Gotta have something we've already
That's what
got
we
in.
already talked about.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay. All right, does anybody else have any questions for this gentleman? And do we, what do I need to do next? You gonna read?
Yes. I'm going to read the resolution. So for consideration, as the Finance Corporation would be a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Jackson County School District Finance Corporation relating to providing for the issuance of $2,695,000 principal amount, subject to a permitted adjustment of 10% of school building revenue bonds in accordance with sections 58.180 and 162.120 through 162.290 and 162.385 of the Kentucky Revised Statutes to provide funds for school building purposes, providing and determining the duty of said corporation in connection with the operation of the school property, the creation of funds sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on said revenue bonds as and when they mature, the creation of adequate maintenance and insurance funds, and authorizing the execution of a lease of such foregoing property to the Board of Education of the Jackson County School District. All of that is because as a traditional board, you typically can't enter into debt for longer than a year. So you're entering into the 20-year debt as the Finance Corporation. It's on a year-to-year lease back to the board in the dollar amount of debt service, and at the end of 20 years, it reverts to the board. Just a legal workaround that allows you to access the bond market.
So at this point, is this where I would ask for approval of an adoption of the resolution to authorize the issuance of revenue bonds? Yes. I need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Eugene?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda? Yes. Ron?
Yes.
And yes for me.
Thank you, guys. If there's any
Thank
questions,
you.
ever a work session, again, you've got the maximum and the conservative, and I'm glad to work in between. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I look forward to following up with the results of the bond sale, which will be later this week. I'll be back with you. Thank you all.
So,
Now you need a motion to adjourn the Jackson County Board of Education Finance Corporation. And then we need a motion to return from recess, and then we'll do a motion to adjourn. I've got notes for you. I've already sketched it out for you. We're gonna go
I
photocopy
need
this, so you
a
can.
motion to adjourn from the Jackson County Board of Education Finance Session Corporation.
Second.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Rhonda? Yes. Eugene?
Yes.
Yes for me. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to return from recess.
I need to make a motion to return.
You can make it all one motion.
From
if you
recess
want.
and adjourn from
Yes.
the Jackson County Board of Education.
Thank
Ronnie?
Thank
Eugene? Rhonda?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
And yes for me.